Good morning, Old Mill Class of 2019. I am deeply honored to be able to speak to you all today on the advent of your journey into the world, free from the restraints that you may have felt held you back until now. I am also envious. This is the beginning of your adult lives. This is such an important and formative point, a starting point to all that you will become. You're all full of teenage angst, even if you don't want to admit it. I say embrace it. My teenage angst has lasted well over 50 years and kept me fighting for what I think is right. What a beautiful day. I spent so much time in Anne Arundel County. It is nice to be here and see something other than the State House. I've been a politician here in Maryland for the last 30 or so years. I've been working for the interests of people like yourselves over that time. I have seen how things here in Maryland have changed, and how the world has too. I know the world you are going into today is not the same one that I faced when I started my political career. The world comes at you a lot more quickly today. There's more information available to you than anyone your age has ever encountered. But I do not envy you the information maelstrom you find yourselves in today. It is hard to determine what is truth and what is fiction, let alone what is right and wrong. Which is not to say that you are not well informed. Some of my grandkids are just a little younger than you, and I am shocked by how much they know about their world, and they are not even technically part of your generation. Of course, they were already calling the generation before yours the most well-informed generation, with more access to information at their fingertips than ever before. Yet all that information comes with the price of confusion. There have never been more distractions to what is true and what it is you need to know. A lot of this comes from social media. Social media dominate all our lives today. They are an incredible tool for the spread of information, but they've developed bad habits in accessing all that information. This is the time when you need to develop the habits that will last you a lifetime, the habits that will make you well-informed people that are ready to confront the issues most important to you, especially when it comes to social media. It is odd to me the way social media influence our lives and how much information is filtered through them. When I was your age, news came from NBC, ABC, CBS, and the daily newspaper. I know you're probably saying to yourselves, what does this old politician know about social media? I bet she still uses Facebook. Well, I do. I have grandchildren. But I also know a thing or two about how social media affect the decisions we all make. I see it in my life looking at my kids and my grandkids on their phone all the time. There's a study from 4 years ago that said, you're all on your phones so much of the time. I said to myself, you needed a study for this? Ask any grandma, she could have told you the exact same thing. This isn't me being a nosy grandma either. Being on your phones all the time can be good, but ironically, it can keep you from getting the info you need. Figuring out what you need to know and how to use it is the tricky part. A study from just a couple years ago shows how this is true. This study showed that when you find news and share it with your friends, that news is more likely to have an impact on whether that friend and you engage politically. So far from discouraging you from burning your heads in your smartphones, I'm asking you to do just that. Parents are here, so they just heard me say that too. Just don't get lost in there and isolate yourselves. Other research shows that this social media thing only works if you work it. It says that if you are passive about what you share with your friends, or they are with what you share, that nobody does anything. Share what you find and follow up, and it will make better citizens out of you and your friends. Social media really can help us all. At the same time, social media is not all unicorns and rainbows. As much as social media can act as a force for good, it can also taint the views we already hold. Another study, also from 2017, took a look at how these media influence what we already hold to be true. This study looked at news sources that the people being studied already thought were credible, and then compared how the social media comments on that source affected what they thought. It also looked at media sources that these people believed in less and what effect feedback on social media had on their believability. Bad news. Negative comments on credible sources made people trust them less, and good comments on bad sources had the exact opposite effect. This is not good use of the resources we all have available to us. It screams that we will let people's opinion change our own sense of reality. Of course, this is all when we go to the trouble of actually reading what is being reported. In another study, this one from 2016, researchers found that a lot of us don't even bother reading what the story has to say. Apparently, we too often jump straight to the comments section and make our judgments from there. As a politician, I am quite guilty of jumping straight to the comments section. But this is not responsible use of the miracle devices we carry with us each and every day. These are the things that affect our lives and the lives of those you love. I know those comments can be pretty entertaining, but let's agree to at least read what they are talking about. It's too important. It makes too much of a difference when you don't know what you don't know. Especially now that you are eligible to vote and really start making a difference. Speaking of voting, there is a big election coming up next year. Do you know why it is such a big election? Because all elections are big elections. For most of you, this will be the first time you have a chance to vote. I know you're probably saying to yourself, here's another politician preaching about voting and telling me how to vote. Well, you're half right. I am begging you to vote, but I don't want to tell you how. That is up to you. But I do want to talk a little bit about how what you encounter in the news and on social media can alter your perceptions. Sometimes this can happen by just reinforcing what we already believe. Let me tell you about research from a study published this very year. It says that social media do not greatly affect our overall political knowledge or awareness. Wait, you might be saying, isn't this the opposite of what you've been telling us? Here's the thing. This study took its data from the last two elections. The authors of this study came to this conclusion because they say we are all too nested in our own comfort zones. Or to put it another way, we are only hearing what we already want to hear. At the same time, another study, also from this year, addressed this comfort zone and the rise of fake news. These guys noted in their study that our social media profiles are what make us susceptible to this disinformation, that we are targeted by what we already seem to believe. But that doesn't mean we have to let these algorithms rule our lives. Anything that is presented to you on your phone can also be verified or disproven also on your phone. Google really is an amazing tool. The lesson here is that everything is verifiable, and you can only fall victim to fake news if you do not follow up on the credibility of your news sources. So in closing, that is what I want to emphasize to you the most. You are responsible for what you believe. You can take a little time to look a little deeper into the news you hear about. The knowledge the world has to offer is literally at your fingertips. If you read or hear or see something that doesn't ring true, find out why. Do not rely that someone else has already done that for you. Then take what you find out and share it with your friends. Make social media the weapon that puts fear in the heart of any lying politician out there. When I was your age, there was a guy named Marshall McLuhan who said, "The medium is the message." He meant that the way by which you receive information matters as much as the message itself. Well, this couldn't be more true today. The way by which you get your news should have you thinking about what it means and whether it is trustworthy. You are bombarded every day with information, and filtering all that information is your new full-time job. Get good at it. Use your social media to get information. Take that information and fact-check it. Take what you then learn to be true and share it with anyone you can. The medium is the message, but you are the means by which that message is turned into action. And one last thought on social media that my grandchildren are teaching me. I don't care what you think you're good at, there is a 10-year-old kid doing it better than you on YouTube. Congratulations, class of 2019. Good luck and God bless you and all that you have to look forward to. Thank you so much.